When we think of Hollywood sweethearts, we create a certain standard for women in media. On-screen women must be sweet, loving, iconic,
There was a time.
witty,
It's so tasty, too.
acclaimed, beautiful, all while having name recognition. Allison Janney challenges the notion of a sweetheart by fitting the criteria and always taking roles a step further. Instead of sweetheart characters, Janney gives us real women with ambition and motivation. Oh, before I forget, Allison Janney has also received the Hollywood Insider Best Dressed over 3 times, so she is definitely quite the fashionista and style icon. Janney's characters often laugh instead of giggle, curse instead of shriek, and talk with their mouths full.
We are talking about 7-time winning, Emmy-winning actress Allison Janney.
4 Emmys in her first go, Janney's CJ is just a starting point. Janney found her breakout role as the White House press secretary in The West Wing, CJ Cregg. We see the sort of versatility Janney has in the first 15 minutes of the show, as she demonstrates CJ's dedication to her high-stakes job.
You elitist Harvard fascist missed the dean's list 2 semesters in a row, Yankee jackass!
Feel better getting that off your chest there, CJ?
I'm a whole new woman.
While also being a total goof in her free time. She's flirty in a very forward way,
You want to make out with me right now, don't you?
and her slapstick never fails to provoke a laugh. CJ is the perfect introduction to Janney, who we would never replace with another performer in any role. The image of CJ is a career-focused, single woman who navigates tense situations with ease and a sense of humor. She is certainly an inspiring role that Janney nails. We see many of Janney's unique talents in CJ, priming us for the career to come. For one, Janney laughs on screen better than anyone else. Critics and showmates seem to think so as well, mentioning Janney's laugh in The West Wing Weekly, a podcast by Josh Molina and Ruchika Shirwe. When discussing the episode titled The Crackpots in These Women, the host and their guest, Eli Addy, briefly speak of Janney's clear onset talent for laughing. They also mention her consistency, as someone who never did a first take, quote, that you couldn't have used in the show. As an actor, this sort of talent requires a strong vision for a character and knowledge of how a scene will play out from reading it on paper. Janney's strength and precision as a performer landed her 4 well-deserved primetime Emmys as CJ Cregg. Of course, CJ also provides a medium for us to view one of Janney's most phenomenal trademarks, the jackal.
They called him the Jackal.
Allison could really do the jackal. We had to actually reshoot it because the first time we did it, Allison did it so well, it was almost out of character. So we redid it in a way that made more sense for CJ, who would be much more awkward with it.
Never a bad performance, Janney makes us laugh and cry. From totally inappropriate guidance counselor / aspiring adult novel writer Miss Perky in 10 Things I Hate About You, to uptight racist mother Prudy Pingleton in Hairspray. Janney is a character actor like no other. There's no type of role she can't play in any medium.
I said we got a live one!
Careful listeners can even recognize her voice as the space flight attendant droid Ali Sansan at Disney theme parks Star Tours. In each portrayal, Janney brings something that only can be described as Janney-esque. An odd timbre that makes her hard to miss. Even if you didn't recognize Janney by name, she's the kind of performer that makes you say, hey, I know her.
I did it all by myself.
She never fails to make an impression on an audience. The way she carries herself, speaks, and smiles all have a subtle, weird quality that makes Janney squirm into a dark part of our brains. She disarms us. We lose that feeling until we see her again in another film or television series and remember her beautiful oddness.
If you girls want to really knock the boys out, you should project boldness with a power pantsuit combo.
Notably, her unique X factor makes her the perfect straight-laced, heinous troop leader in last year's Troop Zero. The story of a raggedy gang of weird girls with names like Christmas and Hell No on a quest is a touching and hilarious one. Janney's character works as a force against these girls, but the heart of her character seems to be with them. You rarely, if ever, get to see stories about a ragtag team of weirdo girls. Stories like The Goonies, Revenge of the Nerds, and even Stranger Things immortalize the oddball boy crew. Troop Zero provides the same opportunity to some bedwetting, guitar-smashing girls. Giving power to weirdness is, at its core, perfectly Janney-esque, and we see this as a popular theme throughout Janney's career. Redefining weird is a crucial point in so many of the works Janney appears in. We can admire her clear vision of the forces for and against change. Janney makes the world better. When we think of actors and actresses we admire, we generally wonder what they do for our communities. There's a lot to admire about someone with a cause. Allison Janney fights to call attention to opioid addiction. She lost her brother to addiction and suicide, which is always a difficult and personal way to lose a loved one. Her acceptance speech for her Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress concluded with a dedication to her brother, Hal.
And this is for Hal. You're always in my heart. Thank you very much.
Janney's role as Bonnie on Mom, a recovering addict, also feels very personal and intentional from Janney. As poised and inspiring as she is on screen, she is just so non-fictionally. Throwing back to her days on the West Wing, she made an appearance at a real-life White House press briefing to speak directly to President Obama's press room about opioid addiction and celebrate those who make an effort to save lives. Her work is a vehicle to make a change in society. Allison Janney brings us the missing part of Hollywood we search for in our spare time. We browse through Netflix looking for that story we can really click with, and we chase characters we can never get a hold of. We face titles that never really vibe with our mood as we scroll and scroll. Janney is that mood. She's the hearty laugh we need when we want things to feel funny. She's the righteous protector of what is sacred in the world. She's the cool aunt with awkward one-liners. When we have the pleasure of watching Janney act, we get sucked into a totally unfamiliar but relatable world.
To be able to affect people in a positive way and do your job is just an amazing opportunity. It makes me feel especially good for what I do.